Okay, we're here for a pretrial. How are we proceeding on this case, Mr. Shue?
Yes, thank you. Your Honor, I believe the defendant and I, we have reached a settlement. The condition would be like this. We have only one dispute is as to whether or not there's another, the January rent payment. My position is that during our last eviction stay order, that the court ordered and the plaintiff paid the complete payment for the November 23rd, I think, November 23rd, 2020, last year. And the dispute would be if that escrow check from last eviction meeting to be applied for the January rent or not. That's the dispute. And as for the rent for February, March, April, and the unpaid May rent, we have agreement.
Okay, what's the agreement?
The agreement without the January escrow check payment from last eviction or hearing is, without that, that would be May rent $1,450 plus the court cost $175 and additional water bill, including this May, that would be estimated at the $388 that defendant said she would take care of the water bill.
Okay.
So if the prior escrow check that she paid, if that's to me, that's we satisfied for that's the eviction hearing in March. But she said that the escrow check was to be applied for January rent, which I disagree.
So you've come to an agreement where she paid May rent, court costs, and water bills. That's correct?
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
Ms. Cargle, is this your understanding of the agreement y'all came to?
But if the January.
Wait, he asking me, hold on, Mr. Lee, let me talk, because he asked me a question.
Okay.
So basically we're here because he's saying I did not pay November's rent, which we was just there for November's court order, right? The court order was for $6,400, which was $5,000. And then the water bill was $1,300. That's what made it that much. So I paid everything in full. We went to court twice on this already. First time he filed, the second time I filed, because he said I didn't pay, which I did. So that was the motion to stay. So as we did the calculations stated everything was paid and some. And that stay was granted. So after we came back the second time for the water bill, which was $1,300 that I covered, everything was dismissed. So with this, I was able to get everything paid up. I don't owe him anything but May as of now. We just discussed everything and how we was going to do with May because I had other stuff, legal stuff going on. So I talked to him about it and I'm like, okay, well, I'm going to make sure that I pay you before May is out because I don't want to get behind. And that was it. So the money that I put in escrow was for January. He got a check for $2,800 for February and March, and I paid him April. So the only thing that is owing is May. And like I told him, I said, he was saying that he didn't want to have to go back. But I'm like, well, if you telling the judge that I didn't pay for November, he's going to want to go back and look at the calculations that we had from previous to see why are you stating that I didn't pay for January.
So when will May be paid?
I told him that I can pay May on the 29th, which is next Friday.
Plus the water, right?
Yeah,
plus
I'm
the
going to pay the
bill.
water. I'm not giving him the water unless we come back to court for the water, because I don't like putting the water in his hand, because like I stated before, I gave it to him before, he didn't pay it. So I'm not going to even put that on myself.
That's
I want to
fine.
make sure that
Take that to the water company and pay it directly.
Yeah.
But do that before your next court date, which will be, we'll reset this pretrial to June 3rd. I want that water bill paid June 3rd. I want that rent paid to him as well.
Okay.
You know, what about the rent for the June then? We have one more month.
Well, look, let me tell you what we're not gonna do. We're not gonna come here every month when she's behind and late, because that's not what we're supposed to be doing. It's 3 months. So we're not even supposed to be in court right now, because there's no dispute that I'm
Okay.
hearing. All right, so we're not gonna come every month because she's behind. She paid it late, she paid the late fee, you know?
Mhm.
So, June 3rd, she's gonna have May rent paid, and she's gonna have the water bill paid. You said something about some court costs. For what?
Right. 175.
And
What's the
that is
court
what I
cost
was
for?
disputing, the court costs, because I said, I just told him this. I'm like, we shouldn't have even been in court because
Yeah,
this was already settled. I don't want to
yeah,
have to
no,
keep paying extra money because you want to keep
Mr.
coming to court.
Mr. Shue,
I don't feel like that's fair to me.
you're not getting that court cost, Mr. Shue, because you're not even supposed to be here. Like, this was a pointless proceeding. But I will see it through to June 3rd. And Ms. Cargle knows what she needs to do. Pay the $388 water bill and then pay him $14.50 with a check, no cash.
Okay, and
Cashier
then
said no
another
money
thing
with
I
her.
want to dispute real quick, Judge, is to make sure that he is being specific about what he's charging, because when I submitted the information, he was only charging me $1,400. And he stated that in his messages, like he said that I normally would be $1,450, but I'm only charging you $1,400. And I said, okay, because I feel like he know that's a little steep with, everything that I had going on. So I'm like, okay, fine, that's, fine. So he
What
needs
does
to
the
be clear
contract
about,
say?
the contract says $1,450. And his messages, he said he's not charging that, he's charging $1,400. So I want him to be clear on the record what he's charging, because that's what he told me. That was the message that I submitted for our case to be viewed, because that's what he stated to me. So
Mr.
I want to
Shue,
make sure that he's not going back and forth saying 1,400, 1,450,
Yeah. Yes. May I respond, Your Honor?
briefly, yes, go ahead.
Yes. The lease, it says 1450.
Okay.
The lease that says 1450 plus late fee of 50. I didn't charge her for late fee, but the lease is 1450, which I'm very liberal on that. So
So the May rent, you're not charging a late fee, is that correct?
it's not late fee, but the rent
Okay.
based on the lease is 1450.
All right, so it would be 1,500, Ms. Cargo, but he's not giving you the $50 late fee, so it's gonna be $14.50.
Okay.
All right, so June 3rd, 2 p.m. on Zoom.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, everyone.